talk a little bit about some good news. You know, with the reversal of Roe v. Wade, that's been one of the more unpopular moves that the government has made in quite some time. I mean, Republican, Democrat, whatever, you know what I mean? That this has been a very widely unpopular move because of how sloppy, one, because obviously we're removing a right that's been around, but also how sloppy it was. You know, like a lot of these red states that put forth these anti-abortion laws, that we're seeing stories of little girls or rape victims not be able to legally get an abortion procedure in their state. And, you know, some women may have the means to go to another state to get the procedure done, but a lot of women don't. So, you know, it's just the collateral damage that's come from that decision has really just been just a bunch of chaos. So let's look into this. So the Justice Department clears Postal Service to carry abortion drugs into red states. So let's check this out. The Justice Department has cleared the U.S. Postal Service to deliver abortion drugs to states that have strict limits on terminating pregnancy, and has offered limited assurances that a federal law addressing the issue won't be used to prosecute people criminally over such mailings. And the importance of this is the legal opinion that came from it, because, you know, this isn't like a law passed or anything like that. So moving forward, there's, you know, we're going to have to keep our eyes out for the cases and the litigation happening. So a legal opinion from Justice's Office of Legal Counsel concludes that a nearly 150-year-old statute aiming at fighting vice through the mail is not enforceable against mailings of abortion drugs, as long as the sender does not know that the drugs will be used illegally. And so here's the opinion, and then we'll talk about it. So we conclude that the statute does not prohibit the mailing or the delivery of receipt by mail of mifepristone or misoprostol, where the sender lacks the internet that the recipient of the drugs will use them unlawfully. OLC Chief Christopher Schroeder wrote the 20-page, one-page opinion. And here's the final part of it, and then we'll discuss. There are manifold ways in which recipients in every state may use the drugs, including to produce an abortion without violating state law. Therefore, the mere mailing of such drugs to a particular jurisdiction is an insufficient basis for concluding that the sender intends them to be used unlawfully. So again, basically the summary of that update, and again, it's the Justice Department, you know, clearing Postal Service to carry abortion drugs. The Postal Service is clear to do that. But, you know, again, with the opinion, basically what that means is that there's not a guarantee that state prosecutors and state law couldn't, if they wanted to, prosecute somebody who mailed abortion pills via the USPS. So that does open the door again for women who may be in a position to where they can't just willy-nilly travel out of state if something happens, if they get pregnant and they're not prepared to have the child, or God forbid they get raped or something like that. You know, this is a way for women to have more access to having some control over their lives. But, you know, again, as the opinion stated, and as the article goes into to discuss, is that, you know, this isn't a guarantee of immunity, and this is the biggest issue, you know, again, of the reversal of Roe v. Wade. It's that, you know, the Justice Department, executive administrations, or states, they can, you know, take measures here and there to protect women and to protect families. But, you know, without the Supreme Court protection, with that right being taken away, if there's bad actors in powerful seats, they can decide to go after women for wanting to have some control after their lives. So, you know, this is a never-ending battle. It's always a never-ending battle. But again, with the reversal of Roe v. Wade, you know, the Republican Party and actors within it, and even outside of the Republican Party, just people who are, you know, staunch, you know, the staunch pro-life stance, like even like no exceptions and stuff like that. The issue, you know, they're not going away. You know what I'm saying? Like just because the reversal of Roe v. Wade has been incredibly unpopular, And just because moving forward, a lot of political capital is going to be put into the Democratic Party, specifically on this issue, especially progressive candidates, specifically in combating the now reversal of Roe v. Wade, that, you know, the counter position, the counter party, the counter movement, the counter culture is not going anywhere. And that's the importance. That was the importance of Roe v. Wade. It protected women. It protected families. It protected people in the lower classes from bad actors who could just, oh, I'm in a powerful position and I just feel like going after women. I just feel like going after these people. You know, that's how it goes. And again, the biggest issue has been how sloppy it was. You know, I mean, like how unreasonable have so many of these states been? You know, no exceptions because God and Jesus, and, you know, even though the Bible isn't, you know, strictly totally against abortion 100% of the time, even in the Bible, and even though the Bible is, you know, something you can choose to follow in terms of how fundamental you want to be about it or not, like the bottom line is that people who have those beliefs, whether they're genuine or not, whether they're true believers or they're just grifters, if they're in a powerful seat, they can act on those beliefs. So again, good news from the Justice Department that the Postal Service has been cleared to do this. However, as this article and as people in the Justice Department have gone on to warn, this isn't guaranteed immunity from it. So this is what we live in now. You know, like it's going to be constant back and forth because stuff like this, right? So the Justice Department just did this, right? But if then there's a Republican administration, they could go on and be like, screw this and just take it away. So now, because of the reversal of Roe v. Wade, we have this endless back and forth that we can't take our eyes off of this. You know, we really can't, because again, the counterculture, the counter position, you know, what's the saying? Evil doesn't rest, evil don't sleep, or whatever. And it's true. If you're ambitious and you got energy and you are committed for the good or for the bad, you can get a lot of shit done in this world. So that's why we can't take our eyes off of this issue.